everyone. Welcome to the Zone to Speak podcast. I'm your host, Juliana. Hi, everyone. Before we jump into today's episode, I have got some amazing deals just for our Zone to Speak listeners. You can get 35% off Frey Skincare for skin that sweats, 10% off Psych Plus, the best e-pump in the market, 10% off Cold Age vitamins and supplements, 25% off Genki Wellness nutrition package, and 15% off Omri supplements, all by using the code ZONE2SPEAK and the links in the episode description. These are my favorite brands, and I'm excited to share these exclusive discounts with you. So check them out and let's help you reach your health and performance goals. All right, let's dive into the episode now. Welcome to Zone to Speak. Today, we are joined by none other than Juliet Elliott, a hugely influential figure in the cycling world, a YouTuber, content creator, and all-around two-wheeled adventurer. Juliet has captured the hearts of the cyclists everywhere with her passion for all things biking, whether it's on a fixie bike, gravel grinding, hitting the trails on her mountain bike, or bikepacking around the globe. With a background as a pro snowboarder, Juliet brings a unique perspective to the sport, blending performance, creativity, and community. In this episode, we dive into Juliet's journey from the snow to the saddle, her rise as a leading voice in the cycling community, and how she uses her platform to inspire, educate, and entertain riders of all levels. We also chat about her recent accident in the Canaries and how her recovery is going and what's next. Get ready for an inspiring and fun conversation with one of the most dynamic personalities in the cycling scene. Juliet, welcome to Zone to Speak.
Thanks, Julia.
So happy you're here. So you have such a diverse career, from professional snowboarding to cycling, plus all the amazing creations that you do online. Can you tell us a little bit about your journey in the extreme sports, how it began and what led you into cycling?
Okay, sure. Well, the cycling came about because I was living in London and I had previously been a pro snowboarder, so I spent a lot of time in the mountains, and then I joined a band and we toured quite a bit. After all that was over, I settled in London, and I guess I felt like I was missing something. Well, something active or creative, I don't know. But I was just conscious of the fact that there was a bit of a gap in my life. Anyway, I started commuting by bike, and that did not fill that void. It was just a mode of transport. I wasn't particularly inspired by it at all. But when I got into riding fixed gear bikes, that's when I was like, oh, this is fun. This is something I just immediately loved it. It was so fun and playful, such a different way of, almost like skateboarding. The city's kind of like your playground, and you have to spot lines and look ahead, and you feel more, it's such a cliche, but you feel more at one with the bike. You have to anticipate things. And I just really, really loved it. So that's what sparked off the whole love affair with cycling.
Fixie, it is fun. I have done a few times, but when you race, for me, felt like it was an FTP test. I was just dying.
Yes. Well, that's crit racing for you. Yeah. But I mean, when I first started riding fixie bikes, I wasn't crit racing. I mean, I smoked and drank a lot and was...
Wow.
Yeah, I was not interested in health and fitness. That's only something that's really happened as I've got older, I suppose. All the sports that I've done, they were not for being fit or healthy. They were purely for fun. It's only now that I train and I take care of what I eat and stuff. So yeah, when I first started riding fixed gear bikes, we were just goofing around and learning tricks and hanging out and drinking. I mean, that was a big part of it. We'd all meet up after work and, have a few beers and play on our bikes. It was just really, really fun. But yeah, absolutely nothing to do with health and fitness.
Oh, but that sounds fun. And, that was 20 years, something ago.
I think it was like 2007. So,
okay.
Yeah,
well, yeah, about 20. I'm all about.
Yeah, getting there. Oh my God.
And how did it evolve that you got interested into ultras?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I just I'm just really into cycling. So obviously I follow all aspects of it. And I do like looking at social media and watching people's YouTube videos and reading blogs and websites and stuff. So I'm just aware of what's happening in the cycling industry. And when Red Hook Crit, the biggest fixed gear crit series, finished, like when I was in London and I was looking to fill a gap, I needed something new. So the fixed gear racing was kind of dead in the water. People weren't doing that anymore, but people were gravitating towards gravel biking. And so, like loads of other people, I did the same. And it felt like there was a similar sort of community, like serious racing, but fun parties, nice people. So that felt like a good fit for me. So I started doing more gravel riding, and that led into more bike packing. And then I saw people doing ultras, and I thought, well, that's a cool way of combining the two. So I've got the challenge of racing with the logistics of bike packing and, my love of exploring. It all sort of seemed to make sense that would be something I would like. So I just thought, well, there's only one way to find out. So I entered one, and of course I loved it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's addicting. And you said something, and it just resonates because I think that's the coolest thing about the bike, because you can do so many different things with it, like mountain biking, graveling, fixie, and then road. I mean, it's endless, and with the mountain bike, there are so many different disciplines and so many things you can do, or just ride just for fun. That's what I also love about cycling. So tell us, I know you had a big setback with your accident when you were doing this stage race, right, in the Canaries. Can you tell us what happened on your accident and how has your recovery been progressing so far?
Okay, sure. Well, I was in the Canaries for an event called Gravel Grounds, which is not a race, but a supported event where they give you a stage each day. Essentially, you ride to a different camp spot and they take care of you and stuff. So it's like a challenge, but it's not actually racing. I mean, everyone races it. You know what these things are like. Officially, it's not a race. But anyway, I was out there and it was in La Palma, and the first day, it's just so annoying. The very first day, there's this huge climb all the way up to the very, very, very top, to the top of the volcano. So we climbed for hours. And I mean, really hours. And I got to the top, I saw this amazing view, and then it was time to descend. And I thought, yes, this is the bit I really enjoy. I mean, climbing, yeah, okay, I can take it or leave it. It's a means to an end. Obviously, there are aspects of it I like. Otherwise, I wouldn't ride my bike up mountains. But the descending is the bit I like. And I was on a mountain bike, so I was just ready to shred, I suppose. So I grabbed some snacks from the aid station, and then I set off, and I passed a few girls on their gravel bikes, and I was going a fair bit quicker than them, thinking, this is great. I'm on the right bike for this. I'm on a mountain bike. I can go faster. But it was just bad luck. Just something went wrong. I lost traction. Obviously, I'm replaying it in my mind, and I'm like, did I have too much pressure in my tires? Is it because I've not ridden my hardtail much before? It was a new bike, and normally when I'm riding mountain bikes, I'm riding, more like a trail enduro bike, and maybe I should have taken more time to get used to that bike. Obviously, all these things go through your head. But anyway, the long and short of it is that I lost traction and I hit the ground very, very hard. Got an open fracture on my elbow, injured my ulnar nerve, and got airlifted. And then I spent 12 days in hospital in La Palma, where they operated, and now I'm back home. It's been 5 weeks, I think, since the operation. And I would not say the recovery is going great, unfortunately. I'm having to see a bunch of different people. So I'm finally starting to get together this nice kind of core group of people who are helping me and who know each other and are able to sort of work together. So a consultant, elbow specialist, and physios, and I'm getting a nerve conduction test to find out what's going on with my nerve damage. And then aside from that, I am back on the turbo, but it's just not a linear process. I was literally just writing a caption for a reel before I spoke to you. And it was a montage of all the training I did last week, where I felt so positive. and really productive. So I'm like, okay, I did this day, this, that day, and I filmed the whole thing and I made this little reel. This week, I've just done nothing. Everything felt so shit. And I'm like,
Aww.
I don't want to do it. I can't be bothered. So yeah, it's very up and down at the moment whilst I try and, I don't know, I think it's because although I'm turbo training and I like turbo training, I need to be outside. So that coupled with the fact, I'm missing, I said this is going to sound so bleak, but I'm missing a bit of hope at the moment. So it's making me feel a bit down. And then I'm not getting outdoors. And then I'm quite grumpy at home. So it affects your relationship. So yeah, it's been pretty tough, basically.
I'm sorry. I mean, you had big plans as well. I mean, I'm sure you can get this in your schedule, next year, but it's just a setback. And I understand the recovery road. It's not linear and it's not easy. You might have good days and then you have bad days, but I don't know what to say. Just
using it as my therapy session, Juliana. Not loading on you. Wait.
Lay it on me. It's all good. It's all good. I'm here for you. I just feel so bummed that this happened because we had a conversation about a month ago and you were so excited because you were going to Nepal and then you had the mountain bike, Grand Gosh, butchering the name. I can never pronounce that word.
But I don't know.
Grand Gosh. And you are also so well known for the descents, but accidents happen, Accidents happened and you can try to analyze and think over and over. We'll never know why that happened. So I think now you have to just focus on the recovery and it's easier said than done. I know. So curiosity, you said you were airlifted. Yes. What happened to your bike? Was it airlifted with you?
No, the organisers came and got it. So because it was an organised event, there were some other women there and they helped me. They called the organisers, waited with me, looked after me, which was just, oh gosh, could not have been better. It would have been so much worse if these lovely women hadn't been there to help me. So the organisers came down and were with me as well, but unfortunately realised that the ambulance couldn't get down there. So that's why they phoned for the helicopter and they took the bike. And the bike just doesn't even have a scratch on it, can you believe it?
I had an accident about 5 years ago and I wasn't even thinking about my bike, but I remember this guy stopped and he was patting me, like on my head and giving me water. And then he said, "Your bike is okay." I wasn't even thinking about the bike, but I was like, okay, thank you. That was sweet. So just going back to Ultra, what has been your favorite event so far and why?
Okay, a couple of favourites, all for different reasons. So, of course, my favourite is the one I did with you, Juliana, even though we DNF. So when we went to race around Rwanda and we had an absolute hilarious time, lots of myths.
Oh my gosh, so much fun.
You were in a lot of pain with your knee, which is less good for you.
Yeah.
Despite all these setbacks and the fact we didn't even finish, it was just hilarious. A roller coaster of funny, weird moments and strange places that we slept and the food. And it was so fun. So that's got to be my number one. But apart from that, I've had a really fun time doing Istraland last year. So that's kind of short when it comes to ultras. I think it was about 450 kilometers, something like that. And
yeah.
Slovenia, Italy,
Croatia.
Yeah, that's it. Right. Yeah. So that one was really fun because it was hot and sunny and beautiful and kind of short. So I originally wanted to do that in one go without stopping. I didn't manage that, but I still managed to do it pretty quick, which I was pleased about. So I think we set off at about 10 o'clock on Friday morning and I finished in the afternoon on Saturday. So that felt pretty good considering I slept. I'm still sort of undecided about where the balance is in, how much to sleep and how, are you quicker if you sleep more because you're more recovered? Or is it better to stop less? I don't know. So anyway, I'm still kind of figuring these kind of things out.
Well, I was so excited watching you on Istra race. You were doing so well. I remember I was like, oh my God, she's top, she's second, she's third, she's top 5. It's amazing. And no, you did really well. I'm super proud. And Rwanda, yeah, we had so much fun. It's also, I think, my top.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just love racing with you. Like even when we are in tough situations and hard times, we deal really well together and always with positivity. And I think if either of us are feeling grumpy, I think we never discussed this, but I think the code word is I'm going to put my headset on, my headphones. And that's it. And then we're back. And yeah, but on this sleep, as I've been talking to people now with the podcast, I've been getting mixed reviews. Like Justinas Leveikas, it's, huge ultra cyclist, and he usually doesn't sleep much, but he said once, I don't remember what happened, but his battery, he forgot to charge his battery. So he had to stop to charge the battery. So he had a sleep and he performed so much better. So he was thinking, well, maybe I should sleep more because he did perform better. And then I was talking to Uba the other day, and he also thinks that sleep is not something that you can train, but I think it's really finding what works for you.
Yeah. Also, the other thing, it depends on what your goal is, I suppose. So, I mean, a big thing for me, even more so now after the accident, is that I want to stay safe. I've got kids at home and stuff. So I that's a priority above where I finish on the podium or in whatever. So I definitely wouldn't go super sleep deprived for that reason, whether it affects my position or not.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought also about when I was in Brazil, I thought, okay, I'm going to try to do 2 days without sleeping. But when I got to CP1, it was around 270 kilometers. I could continue, but I thought, I think I'm just going to crash and die at some point, Yeah, so I decided to sleep. I did sleep just 2 or 3 hours, and it was good just to keep going. But I don't know. I don't know if I can go. I think after 2 days, I'll probably just sleep another 20 hours, and we'll defeat the purpose of not sleeping.
I didn't remember. We didn't wake up, did we? Do you remember?
Right? Yeah. We didn't hear both of our alarms. Woke up, nobody was there. Oh, so fun. And you are going back, right? Now in 2025?
No, we went to the pictures. Sorry, I don't know if
Oh, damn it. Okay. No, you can swear, yeah.
No. It's the beginning of February, and I'm not even back on a bike.
Oh, yeah.
Again, I'm pulling out of that. I mean, I've got quite a few plans for next year, but the first one is not until, your birthday. But in terms of racing, it'll be Gravel Birds in Portugal.
Woo! Yeah.
Reunited.
Yeah, I can't wait. And that should be beautiful too. Which also on this leap, another point is I also want to see things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, so February you're still recovering. So hopefully strong enough to start getting outside as the weather gets better. And how do you usually prepare for these ultra cycling events, both in terms of training and mindset?
Well, obviously, the more you do them, the easier it gets. So I was really stressed before about the equipment side of things. But now, I mean, you have a list, right? So you have a list and you know what works and what doesn't. And obviously, you have to adapt it depending on the climate or, that sort of thing. But I feel like I've kind of got that dialed. I know what stuff works. So I'm less fearful of making an enormous mistake with that. But in terms of training, it's long rides are the best thing, obviously, aren't they? But that can be a bit tricky because of my home life and stuff. So I do quite a lot of turbo training. And to try and get me better at riding hills, my coach often sets me kind of extended periods in zone 3, and sort of leg strength stuff to try and build up climbing stamina and stuff. But the nice thing about training for an ultra is the best thing you can do is just go and ride your bike for hours. So that's really cool. And then another way of preparing, of course, would be just to go on a long bikepacking trip and do loads and loads of miles and camp out and all that sort of thing. So it's quite a nice thing to train for. In terms of mindset, I suppose you pick up techniques as you go along. So I don't prepare in advance with my mindset. It's more that whilst I'm racing, I have little phrases or things that I can turn to. So just things like, I can't think of the exact phrase, but I'm thinking of when I was at Migration Gravel Race and there's this horrible, horrible washboard. You just have to think to yourself, this will not last forever. It will not last forever. Round a corner, there's something else. Because there always is. Like, you're not going to literally be on washboard for 20 hours. There's just no way. So you learn to kind of, deal with that, knowing that you've just got to get through this one section and then the next section will be different. And there's always lots of ups and downs. So once you're kind of okay with that, you're all right. Then the other thing I do to prepare is I always download some podcasts and some audiobooks, and I like riding with those open ear headphones so that I can still hear what's going on and kind of keep myself entertained and stuff. So I have quite a specific weird taste in audiobooks when I'm racing. It has to be something that's quite, like, I don't normally read books like this, but when I'm doing a race, it has to be almost a bit like a kind of novel that you would read on the beach, like quite easy reading, quite sort of almost generic. I don't know, just something that doesn't take too much thought or concentration, because you're also trying to navigate yourself and stuff.
Yeah. Something that you don't have to pay attention 100% and focus. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. And I was going to ask next, and you touch on it a little bit on your family life. How is a typical day for you? Like, how do you balance everything? Because you are a huge YouTuber, content creator. You are a lot on the road, bike packing, doing events. And obviously you have a family. How do you balance it all?
Oh, it's so difficult, because also you're just trying to keep everyone happy and yourself happy. And being a mum that does this sort of thing comes with a lot of guilt. I'm sure you've felt that as well. And you have to try and rationalize that and realize that you shouldn't feel guilty. But then obviously there's a limit. So my home life is slightly different to some families because we only have my daughter half of the time. So we have my partner's kids the whole time and my daughter half the time. So I do tend to try and do my trips when my daughter's not with us, because at least it's fewer people for my partner to look after. And also with me only seeing her half the time, I don't want to go traveling and miss my week with her. I want to be with her. That's the most important thing. So that's how I do most of the traveling. I try and do it when she's not with us, while still trying not to just abandon everyone the entire time. In terms of home life and training, oh God, it's just so hard to fit everything in. That's why I do so much turbo training. And whilst I've been injured, I am so amazed at how much extra time I've got. Like, cycling is so time consuming. But on a typical day, I might get up at 7, I don't get 4 kids ready because we have a teenager. He doesn't want me to get him ready. So I get 3 kids ready for school, drive them to school, get back here for like 9:30 because the school run is so long. And then I'll go straight on my turbo or straight in the gym, because if I don't do that thing first, then that thing's probably not going to get done. The only exception would be if I have some other important deadline for a client I'm working with and I need to be at my computer. So then I'll try and get that done, try and get the training done, then get a bit of work done. And then 2:30, I have to go back on the school run and pick everyone up again. And then after that, it's all the kind of school run, gymnastics, after school clubs and stuff like that. And I try not to do anything work-wise once I've picked the kids up. But as a result, I might then be on the turbo at 9:30 in the evening if I hadn't managed to do it earlier. So, the other day I was on the turbo. Everyone was in bed apart from our teenager. All the kids were in bed. My partner was in bed. That's why I'm on my turbo. But you just got to get it done how you can, haven't you? I mean, the other thing is, I took your advice, because what I used to do in the past, I would be like, I haven't got time to do that workout, so I just wouldn't do it. And you're like, well, just doing something is better than not doing anything. So I have been doing that, and that really helps with the whole family situation. Just do something, do what you can.
Yeah. And I think psychologically too, like when I don't have time, even if it's 15 minutes, just doing squats and lunges, I just mentally feel better.
Yeah.
Because if I don't do anything, then I just feel like so crappy.
Yeah.
And I'm doing a lot of turbo too, because life is so busy and I'm tired of feeling guilty for missing workouts because I don't have the time, to get outside, because you have to get ready and then get the bike ready, check the tires, go outside and come back. So I just told my coach during the week, I just want to do the turbo because I just don't want to be stressed of finding the time to go out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, with me as well, like I can kind of gauge what's going on with the kids. And then, like, for instance, yesterday, I went and picked them all up from school and then I came back home. They were just not interested in hanging out with me that day. Some days they're all like, Mummy, let's make cookies, let's do this. Yesterday they were like, we just want to watch TV, Mum. So anyway, they put on the TV and I'm like looking around thinking, I should make some time for my kids. And they were so not bothered that I was like, right, I'm going to go on the turbo. So,
good.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you can play by ear and do something with them there and not feel guilty because they are into something else. So, but it doesn't work like that every time. So, and I know you're still recovering, and besides Gravel Birds in May, and we're traveling together in March. Yay. Anything else for the rest of the year, or you don't want to think that far ahead?
Well, I made a list of things I was doing before I crashed. So I do have a few things penciled in. Oh, yeah, I see. So I have entered the tracker, which you haven't entered, have you? You still umming and ahhing about it?
I have not.
Okay.
I'm still thinking about it, but I'll be our cheerleader.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, I'm only doing the 100 this time, doing that with our good friend Anto. And then the other things that I've got penciled in are mainly bike packing. Ooh. And so I have put question marks on a lot of these. One of them is Bright Midnight. Justina's.
Yes.
In Norway. So I'm quite tempted by Bright Midnight because obviously you'll be riding at night, but it's still light. So that would be really cool. And I love Norway.
I think that one is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it'd be really difficult because of, the climate and everything. But I would like to be able to see, like, how long I can ride at night when it's not getting dark. Is it different? How does it feel? What's it like doing that? I don't know. I'm just curious. Then there's a new gravel stage race in South Africa from the guys that launched Cape Epic. So that's called Gravel Burn, and I might try and do that. That's not till October. Then the other things that I've got penciled in, bikepacking with my good friend Laura. We always do a trip, so that's got to go in there. Bikepacking Westfjords in Iceland. Bikepacking
nice.
In Turkey with you.
And
then the other one is the Slovenia West Loop, which is meant to be a cool bikepacking loop in Slovenia. I've always wanted to go there. And yeah, that's it.
Cool. Yeah, the Bright Midnight is on top of my list, but it's difficult because I have my daughter here in July. So it's a month that I want to really spend time with her. But yeah, I thought the same because it's daylight pretty much 24 hours. It must be, I mean, of course, Norway, it's super safe, but there's a safety aspect for me, because being in the dark, I'm always a little bit scared. So,
yeah.
And the point you brought up on, because you have daylight, maybe you feel more awake and you feel good. So yeah, keep me updated. I want to hear more about that one.
It's a tricky one with the kids, isn't it? Because the other one that I'm interested in is Silk Road, but that's in August. I can't go away in August. It's the school holidays. Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Can't do it all, but little by little we'll cross them off the list.
Yeah, exactly.
And how do you stay motivated and inspired and keep pushing boundaries? Cycling and life.
Well, I think I'm just inspired by the people I see around me. Like, I know there's a lot of negativity about social media and stuff, but for me, it's great. You know, like I'm sitting on my turbo trainer upstairs and I've just installed this huge TV because I knew that I was going to spend so much time on the show. And so I watch other women's, I normally watch women. I watch other women cyclists' YouTube channels and I see the events that they're doing and I get inspired by it, and it makes me try harder on the turbo when I'm maybe feeling a bit like I can't be bothered. So it's the other people that are around me that are doing cool things. And then also I do quite like looking at books and stuff. So I've got quite a lot of books on epic bike rides and bikepacking routes. And my dad's super into maps. So I'll mention to him that I want to go to Slovenia, and he's posted me a map with a little list of points and stuff like that. So I suppose I get that from
how
him.
cute.
Yeah, but there's loads of people doing cool stuff in the world, aren't there? And I really enjoy consuming all that kind of media and, you know, written stuff as well. And it gives me ideas for my trips.
Yeah, I agree. I think social media, if used properly, it's an amazing tool. I also get inspired. Sometimes I don't feel like doing anything, and then I open Instagram and I see a story, you know, you or someone else, you know, running or being outside on the bike or on the turbo. And I'm like, okay, let me shake it off the laziness and do something. And yeah. So that's good. So I have just some fun rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Favorite post-ride snack or meal?
Oh, this is quite a hard one. It changes. Something really quick. Normally, it depends what I've got in the fridge. So I'm really into kefir. You know that? It's like,
what is that?
Kefir or something like that.
Kefir, kefir. Yeah. It's like the yogurt, yeah.
Yeah. I quite like having kefir with like berries and oats and things like that. That's a really good one. But then my other one that I would have would be sourdough toast with Marmite on it and then cheese on top. We're just going for flavour there rather than anything particularly nutritious. But yeah, normally I don't get back from a ride absolutely starving because I eat on the ride. So I don't have to just do like a big fridge raid and stuff my face. So I'm okay. I'll just have a little snack and then I'll have dinner.
And after a ride, what do you do first? Eat, shower, or wash the bike?
Eat. Yes.
Dream cycling destination.
Oh, there are so many I want to go to. Like I actually have a list open on my computer right now, so I'm going to go through because I'm trying to like nail down what I want to do next year because, like we were saying, I have a limited amount of time, so I have to be really picky. So on my list, loads of these I've been to before, but I want to go again. So Cornwall, Scotland, Ireland, Slovenia, Nepal, Norway, Iceland, Sweden, Switzerland, Tuscany, Squamish, because Seven Mesh are from there, Corsica, and California.
Ooh. Yeah, I have some of those places on my list.
Yeah, I'd also like to go to maybe Vietnam or somewhere like that. I don't know. Loads of places. Hawaii?
Yeah, I would love. We should plan a bike packing in Vietnam, Laos, those places, you know, like it's beach, sunshine.
Yeah.
Okay. Road bike, gravel bike, or mountain bike? If you could only choose one.
Gravel, for sure. Because it's just the most versatile, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then it depends
what's
where it is.
True.
Yeah. So that would be situation dependent.
And what's one thing you always carry on a ride?
One. Food? Water.
Water.
Yeah.
And who would be your dream cycling partner for a day?
For a day? Oh, you, of course.
Aww. I was going to say you can't say Sam, but
oh no.
Likewise.
Like every time Sam and I get to go for a ride together, it's such a treat because it doesn't happen so often. So I'm hoping that he's going to come and ride Stone Circle, you know, the gravel event.
Ooh, yeah.
So hopefully it'll be me and Sam and you, maybe Miguel, Anto, and all our friends together. It should be fun.
Yeah, you'll be awesome. McLeary, I think also it's going, so it'll be fun.
Cool.
All right. Well, so nice to chat with you. Thanks for making the time. And I'm wishing you a speedy and full recovery so we can do all those dream plans next year. And
yeah. Oh, brilliant. Well, nice talking to you as always. And yeah, have a good weekend.
Thank you. And that's all for today's episode. I want to thank the listeners for tuning in. Your support means everything. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider following, leaving a review, and sharing it with your friends.